Hi guys, it has been 6 days since the unthinkable happened and our entire place burned down. And again, I don't really want to make a video, but because our channel has always been transparent and we've always been very transparent with you guys, and the reason the place existed was so many people that want to know what happened, how it happened, where we're at, what's going on. And also, when things like this happen, there's lots of speculation, there's lots of rumors, there's lots of different things that go on. So I just said I'd make this quick video today just to kind of put everything to bed and let you guys know where we're at, how we are, what's going on, what the next steps are, and all that kind of stuff. To start with, there's a lot of you guys that will have come in to our channel or our videos or whatever because of what's happened. Definitely not the publicity we wanted, but some of you guys might not be aware of who we are, what we do, what this place meant to us, what the cars meant to us, how our business operates, and how all of this is an absolute mess. So we're a very niche business. We have, I always call meetings and say we're a house of cards. So in order to have something so niche between drifting, modified cars, merchandise, media work, all this, there's so many aspects to that business that if one piece was to fall, the whole lot would fall. And it's a very tough business. We're a group of car enthusiasts that work together, and also best friends that work together on a business that's really difficult to keep afloat because it's so niche. We also are in a country that the government and council essentially hate what we do. They don't like modified cars, they don't like drifting, they don't like any of those things. So whether you're UK or America or wherever, it's very difficult to get insurance, to legally drive cars here. The cost and taxing on everything is higher than anywhere else, and it's a real struggle just to keep it all afloat. And over the last 8 years, we've had a lot of ups and downs. We've had amazing memories and built some amazing cars. But just to give you a background story, maybe before I get to everyone else, just on my own personal side, we've had so many amazing, words of advice, kindness, generosity. It's overwhelming. I said to someone the other day, it felt a lot of the time last week like I was at my own funeral and people were talking about us like we were not there or in the third person. And one thing I hate personally is sympathy, because I'm quite proud, I'm quite strong, I feel like I've got a good plan of how we can always get over all our problems, and we generally do. And the problems we've had for the last 8 years, just to give you a quick synopsis, 8 years ago I was running the Irish Drift Championship and I got the opportunity to run the British Drift Championship, and the week that I was going to sign the contract to buy it, I got diagnosed with cancer. And my attitude was, look, we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens. We took the chance, I battled through it, and it ended up becoming a success. The Irish Drift Championship led to the British Drift Championship, led to the Middle East, led to Drift Masters. And we were cooking, everything was going great. I brought an amazing team together of guys that I sold a dream to, of working in this dream job. And they gave up their own careers and their own ambitions to follow me. And we built something very special. 4 years ago, just as we were getting to a point where our business was really successful, COVID came along, and overnight we lost 90% of the business. And again, through no fault of our own, we were struggling and going to go bankrupt. We took a chance. We borrowed €100,000 off the bank. Government were backing all the loans at the time to keep businesses afloat. We said, look, if we're going under, we might as well go under doing something we love. So we bought an MX-5, we bought a Corvette. We really put our heart and soul into the Drift Games brand and our channel, and people started watching, and it kept us afloat during the toughest time. Come out of COVID, we built some popularity on our builds and our channel, and the events came back, and then things were back going again. 4 years later, we had put our heart and our soul into what was our dream space, our dream garage, and into all of our cars that were in there. They all had so many stories, so many memories. We worked with amazingly talented people to build all that together. And we headed to Dubshed, which was the first indoor show of the year, to just stand back and look at what we had achieved from a bunch of misfits that were car enthusiasts. It's important also to remember that we're not the best drifters, we're definitely not the best mechanics, we're not the most animated of YouTubers, we're just kind of ordinary guys that love cars. And you have to work twice or 10 times harder than the people that have all that natural talent just to keep things afloat when you don't have it naturally. And everybody was putting in, we calculated it just as we were talking about it over the last year, everybody with the hours they put in that was unpaid just to build the cars, get them ready, were on less than minimum wage, just living the dream. And to see all that go away in one night, after, cancer, COVID, now the entire business burning down. Personally, it's like, just feels unfair. If I'd made a bad business decision, if I'd made a wrong move, or any of the boys had, even if we caused the fire, which we didn't, you could at least say it was our fault, but it all seems like it wasn't our fault, which makes it all, obviously you get angry, you get frustrated, your mental health starts to go, is it just not meant for me? Are we just not meant to have this life, no matter how hard we work, no matter how many risks we take? But I wanted to just make this video to tell you guys about what happened in the last 6 days, to clear up any speculation you guys might have had, or obviously the building is actually collapsing behind me as I'm making this video. The demolition team are here. So first things first, the fire was an accident. It was something that CCTV has pulled. It's an ongoing investigation with forensics, so I can't speculate publicly, but it is a freak accident. Nothing could have been done any differently, and I know there's a lot of Captain Hindsights that are on the comments saying, oh, you should have done this, should have that. We have a company where we build cars that are never going to be the value of them. There's no, 90% misery, if you're a car enthusiast, if you're going to go try and make money, the last thing you're going to do is modify cars or drift. They're two things that literally you're just throwing money away. We could sell pallets, mattresses, and you'd make 10 times as much money. If we were a commercial media company, just getting paid by the hour, we'd make 10 times more. Every penny we made, we reinvested. We never left anything in the bank. We just kept building up cars, building our channel. Quite scary actually, everything falling down behind me. This is the hardest business because there's no sense to it at all. So saying that we would go in there and have this, that and the other, and it's nonsense. We were trying to do something that was just so niche and crazy that, it doesn't applicate to any other business. First of all, the fire was accidental. No one could have changed anything. A lot of people saying we should have had sprinkler systems and fire systems. The building was only a year old. We had all the fire systems we necessarily needed in there. The fire marshal said to us, it didn't matter what you had in there. They had 7 fire trucks pouring water on the initial fire and they couldn't stop it. No sprinkler system was going to push as much water towards it. The mains water couldn't handle any more water that was being pushed on it, and they couldn't stop any of it. The firefighters did everything they could, but remember, there was no human life inside. So once it got to a dangerous point for their human life, they had to let it burn. And that's the right call. People said when we got there, could we have got cars out? When we got there, the smoke was pouring out the corners of our windows. I'm thankful that the police and the fire did not let us in, because if we went in to get something, we could be having a very different conversation, because all of my boys were raring to go in there and get every car out of there. It would have been impossible and people would have got hurt. And that's far more important than the cars that were in there or anything to do with it. These are all, not my employees, but my friends, and the last thing I wanted is those people to be hurt. On top of that, people say, it's okay, insurance is going to cover everything. Insurance is going to cover everything. It's like, you've obviously never had an insurance claim or an insurance policy. So, first of all, you think about it from an insurance company's point of view. It's very hard to explain what we do. It's incredibly hard to explain the sentimental value of everything that we lost. It's very hard for them to understand what a one-of-one Corvette or a Lamborghini with a 2J or an S15 with an MR2 engine, they don't understand any of that. All we're going to get out of this is some of our stock, which is not even all we had in there. We're going to get market value for the cars, maybe, that we had in there. And we had every insurance thing ticked. A lot of people say you should have insured it differently. Unfortunately in Ireland, because it's such a niche business, they don't cover those things. There is no option to cover them. You go to England, you can insure supercars a certain way, specialist cars, things like that. There is nothing in Ireland, because it's so niche, even available. So for us to operate as a business, we didn't have any other option but to insure it as best we could. And that meant we maximized the best we could. But we're probably looking at, I would say, best case scenario, 3/4 of what we have in there is gone and never to be recovered. The personal cars that are in there, we've already had conversations where companies are saying on technicalities they won't insure them at all. And of what is insured, they're looking at the value of that, saying, for example, my S15, they're just looking at standard S15, bog standard value, not everything we've done to that car or whatever. Drift cars, I don't know anyone in the world, maybe they do, but I would say 98% of people who have a car that's not road legal doesn't have it insured, and also it's very difficult to insure a car that isn't road legal, because car insurance is based on, is it road legal, does it meet the recommendations, is it taxed? So when people say that it's insurance, it's just moronic. I could have sold 2 cars up there and got more money than we're going to get back on this. So that doesn't make it. Also, if people are saying, I would have to, if I wanted an insurance claim, because I was laughing about this last time, I would have to hire somebody who doesn't work for me from a different company to blow himself up, to start a small fire that he then would preempt, would take down 6 hours to get to our stuff. And then, we would claim back the insurance on 25% of it, even though just selling a car or 2 would have been more. It's just moronic. And anyone thinking that this is sinister or a plan, I honestly feel sorry for your skepticism. And I obviously, even unlocking your phone would be, you'd have to have more